fifth-ranked Georgia Bulldogs travel to Starkville, Mississippi to play the Mississippi State Bulldogs, who are coming off their first SEC win since 2023 in a close, I believe it was 38-35 win over Arkansas. Mississippi State just needs one more win to go bowling. They're 5-4, 1-4 in the SEC. Georgia is 7-1, 5-1 in the SEC, and they're only favored by 7.5 points. This game will be broadcast at noon Eastern Time on ESPN. This channel will make you a college football expert and help you enjoy watching games and make more accurate predictions. So what are you waiting for? Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment your thoughts, and watch the video all the way through so that you can get the full package. And check the description and pinned comment for more ways to help yourself and this channel. Looking at Georgia's schedule here, they have been in close games throughout the entire year. Tennessee, overtime win. Alabama, lost in the fourth quarter. Auburn, it was a close game for 4 quarters. Stockton just had a really late touchdown to make it 20-10. Ole Miss pulled away in the fourth quarter after being down by 9 at the end of the third. Florida pulled away in the fourth quarter after Florida had a chance to convert a 4th and 1, at which point they'd probably, make it a 27-17 game, but they come up clutch on defense. This team has played in really 5 close games, and they're 4-1 in those games. Usually, that is the mark of good coaching, but sometimes it can be the mark of luck. And while I believe that for Georgia it's more the former than the latter, even for good coached teams, well-coached teams, when they play in this many one-score games, usually at some point the luck runs dry. And eventually they either lose big or they finally lose in a one-score game. And with where this spot is for Georgia, where they have to play Texas at night next week, it's a big game. That is if you lose, you're not out of the playoffs, but you'll be out of Atlanta. You will not win the SEC if you lose that game, given how Alabama and A&M are winning. It's a big program game, I think, given how Georgia just isn't who they were in 21 or 22 or even 23. And you just need all the wins you can get, I think, if you're Georgia. You need to build momentum, not just for the playoffs, but for next year. And you need to win. You need to keep on winning. So this spot is really weird and tough for Georgia. For Mississippi State, they play Missouri after this game. Then they get a bye before Ole Miss. So this is a tough final 3-game stretch. Georgia at home, Missouri on the road, bye, and then Ole Miss at home. They can win one of these games. In fact, given how many close games they've played in, so close loss to Tennessee, close loss to Florida, close loss to Texas, they are 1-3 in one-score games, or 2-3 because they did beat Arizona State earlier in the year. Ole Miss has played in close games. Missouri has. Georgia has. They could beat 2 of these teams, which would be a really impressive feat by Jeff Lebby. This Mississippi State team is much stronger than last year's team. They're not a good team, but an average team. I would say so. And their offense is well schemed. It's planned. It's well coached. I think they can catch 1 or 2 of these teams by storm. And Georgia's defense has struggled this year. So maybe this is the game that's ripe for the picking, where Mississippi State can upset a top 10, top 5 team, a ranked team. They'll have the opportunity to do that at least in 2 of these games, because Ole Miss will certainly be ranked when they play them. I don't know quite about Missouri, but if they beat A&M, certainly they'll be ranked, and maybe they'll be a 3-loss ranked SEC team. Who knows? I think that the key here for Mississippi State is that they can find a way to slow down the run. And that is going to be tough against a Georgia offense that is one of the best in America in general, but mostly due to their punishing ground game, which they did not have last year. It was putrid. Their rushing attack in 2023, in theory, on paper, was great, but in practice, I think when you needed it, so against Alabama and some other games in the regular season, it didn't really show up all that much. And then, yeah, this is their best rushing attack since 2022-2021 for Georgia. Their offensive line is better. Their quarterback in Gunnar Stockton is a fit, and he helps the rushing attack because he is a dual-threat quarterback. If you're Mississippi State, you need to slow down this rushing attack. Otherwise, you have absolutely no chance here. Now, you should be able to engage in a shootout because of what your passing attack can do. And Georgia is not good at stopping the pass. They look slow at secondary. They look like they maybe made some misevaluations. They've been very shaky at defensive back, to say the least. This is probably their worst pass defense under Kirby Smart, except for 2016. For the Bulldogs, Georgia Bulldogs, Gunnar Stockton, Zachariah Branch, and Drew Bobo are the players to pay attention to offensively, and then Christian Miller, C.J. Allen, and K.J. Bolden are the players to pay attention to on defense. For Mississippi State, I think it's all about Blake Shapen, Devon Booth, Brennan Thompson, Isaac Smith, Kelly Jones, and Javian Williams. Smith, Jones, and Williams are on the defensive side, specifically in the secondary. Shapen is their quarterback, and Brennan Thompson is their top wide receiver. Be paying attention to those players because, especially for Mississippi State's offense, if they get going, they'll get going. And I do not have much confidence in this Georgia defense to put up a valiant effort against really any offense at this point. Like Kentucky, of course, it's Kentucky. Auburn, of course, it's Auburn. But if you can pass the football, Tennessee, Alabama, Ole Miss, even Florida to a degree, we have proof of concept that if you can pass the football on Georgia. I think that a lot of things still go Georgia's way here. Their run defense and offense, they should control the trenches. They have the better team and staff, and they should be able to get some wins in the pass defense and some wins in the passing offense. So with that being said, I am picking Georgia to win, but Mississippi State to cover. Maybe it's a late cover, or maybe it's a, it's a cover straight up, and Georgia's just able to have another one-score win. But I trust Georgia here to at least get out with a win. Wouldn't be shocked doing kind of a double take on the trench advantage that Georgia has in practice and in theory if Georgia gets one of their bigger wins in terms of margin of victory over the entire season. And that would be big leading into a game against Texas where Texas is a bye. Texas is getting hot in certain areas, and you're going to need to be at your best if you want to beat that Longhorn team. For the standings, Mississippi State earning a win here gets them to bowl eligibility, which is a huge win for Jeff Lebby and that program. For Georgia, a win here keeps them in the SEC championship game race because of their schedule, especially if A&M loses. You best believe they'll probably get to Atlanta over Texas A&M. You best believe that. And then that's especially because, say, Georgia beats Texas if they win out, because if they lose one more SEC game, they're not going to Atlanta. Say they beat Texas and Texas beats A&M. Then you have the common opponent tiebreaker, which goes Georgia's way on top of their stronger SEC conference schedule. At least from what I understand for the conference schedule. I haven't calculated that out, but I know the common opponents tiebreaker exists, and that would go Georgia's way in that scenario. So they're hanging around trying to get to the SEC championship game. If not, a win here would make their likely appearance in the college football playoff all that much more firm. But I think that Georgia wins. Mississippi State covers, but it's not a strong lean here. If I'm wrong about this specific prediction, it will be Georgia wins and they win by a lot. Thank you for watching. It's my mission on College Football with Sam to make you the most informed, knowledgeable, and entertained fan as possible. We aren't perfect, but we hit the nail on the head more often than we hit our thumb with the hammer. Make sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment, and if you're here, you've probably already watched the whole video. So thank you for doing those things.